My name is Donnell Davis, and this is another video via the Blue Room. This past weekend, we had the fight between Manny Pacquiao and Chris Algeri, which Pacquiao easily dominated him, knocking him down 6 times throughout the course of the fight. Algeri just looked very outclassed, and I think he fought probably the best he was going to do. Now, people are now, and while there's matchups, while there's matchups out there for Algeri, for Pacquiao, the biggest fight talking about is now back to the debate with Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. And while I did a prediction video for the Algeri fight, I predicted that Algeri may do better than what he actually did. And while I picked the unanimous decision correctly, the outcome was just not. The actual fight was pretty much a beatdown. But that's the way the cookie crumbled, so I guess I was half right. Unanimous decision. But total annihilation at the same time. He didn't have a hard time with that at all. And so now we're back to square one. Will Floyd Mayweather fight Manny Pacquiao? Now, that isn't for me to decide, because I'm neither guy. I'm not part of anybody's entourage to give you any inside views. But to give you my honest opinion, which as a fan I can give you an opinion, I'd say yes. The fight should happen. Although I asked, will he fight him? I can't, like I said before, can't answer that. But as a fan, yes, the fight should happen now. Neither one of them have credible opponents to face. They both pretty much ran through the top guys in their stables, because in Mayweather's stable of fighters, while he has more to choose from, many of them are losing. Sean Porter got beat by Kell Brook, whom Sean Porter beat Devin Alexander. We got Keith Thurman, which would be a good matchup. He wouldn't get no drawing power, but that definitely would be a much better fight than the presumed Amir Khan. And Mayweather would actually take a lot of flack, since there's a lot of criticism from Floyd fans, including myself, that Pacquiao fight makes people come up to fight him from junior welterweight, and they or they come from jumping weight classes to fight him, to meet him and fight him, and the lack of actual welterweights that he fought. And the legitimate gripes are actually true, are actually good and true. But on the flip side, people feel that Floyd cherry picks his opponents, and that he could fight better opposition. And unfortunately, with any professional fighter's record, which even includes the great Manny Pacquiao and the great Floyd Mayweather, a lot of guys are not going to be up on the par because they set the standard so high. So as fans, I would like for people just to be chill about it. And a lot of these guys are fighting the best of what they have available for them, both of them. And there should be, and if we want them to fight, show an appreciation for the other fighter. There's a lot of comments that I actually see on there that are just seem ignorant and silly when they say, well, Floyd doesn't need to be in the ring with Manny Pacquiao. And for those fans who ever see this video, and I ask you a direct challenge, why? Then why have Floyd fight him at all? If you feel that he's not good enough to fight Manny Pacquiao, then he shouldn't fight Manny Pacquiao. What would he have to gain if he did? Case in point, when he defeated Canelo Alvarez. Now, the comment section before the Alvarez fight, leading up to it, oh, Canelo's so big, he's strong, he's fast, Floyd hasn't seen nothing like it before. And then after the fight, when Floyd washes him out completely, he's too green. He wasn't ready. So there's a lot of people said they'd give him credit for the win that just really didn't and just disappeared off of commenting altogether. And it just seemed strange to me that and also Pacquiao got accolades for Fighter of the Decade for 2000 to 2010, and the reasoning was they said, well, sorry Floyd, to be the best you got to beat the best. And by that time they were fighting a lot of the same type of opponents, just Pacquiao was dispatching them more effectively, yes, but at the same time Floyd fought them when they were at their most dangerous. Much like Hatton, he fought an undefeated Hatton that still had the will to win. He had to stop him, and the damaged goods that Pacquiao got, he dismantled in no time. But a mentally broken fighter via Floyd, which seems to be the story. But then there's others that one fought and the other did not fight, like Antonio Margarito. Oh boy, did Pacquiao put the drummings on him. Impressive in performance. But likewise, you never got to see Arturo Gatti fight Manny Pacquiao. And Floyd Mayweather's best performance by far. If I had to pick the two styles of fighter that I would want to see go at it, I would have loved to see that Mayweather that fought Arturo Gatti and the Pacquiao who fought Marco Antonio Barrera. That would have been the fight at its best pinnacle. And as I'm a huge Marco Antonio Barrera fan, but I absolutely had so much respect for Pacquiao and the way he dispatched him, because that was not an easy guy to beat. And he not only made it look easy, he made it look like they were not even in the same class of fighter. And that was just amazing. It was tremendous performance. And same likewise goes for Arturo Gatti and Floyd Mayweather. It's almost as if Floyd was Neo in the Matrix, and Gatti was just a hapless agent, untrained, who didn't know what to do with the speed and power he was getting hit with. I mean, he looked like really as if Elsa grabbed his freaking feet, froze him in the ring, and just pretty much was moving him around as he stood there trying to find some sort of opening, but could not. That would have been an excellent matchup. But now we have the senior version of the two. And while I'm not completely disappointed that it turned out this way, and now that they've hit the crossroads, and now that the fight has to happen, another reason why the fight has to happen is one of Floyd's last defeated opponents, Canelo Alvarez, has jumped back to HBO and is clamoring for that May 5th fight. Or I said May 5th. The Mexican Independence Day, which is usually known as May Day for us boxing fans. And he wants to fight on that day, and he wants to fight Cotto, and they're working out that deal to finalize it. If that happens, that means that limits Floyd's type of opponents that he can fight. He has to fight someone with definite drawing power, and someone whom will bring him the big bucks to compete against a Mexican and a Puerto Rican fighting on Mexican Independence Day, because those are some very dedicated boxing fans, and they would absolutely order the Canelo fight over the Mayweather fight if he should choose to fight Amir Khan. So the Canelo is unofficially putting pressure on Floyd to accept the fight, and I'm hoping that it happens. I really wanted it to be his last fight, so this way, win, lose, or draw, that the fight's over, everyone has a conclusion. I personally feel that even with Manny's explosive speed and all his greatness and such like that, the best counterpuncher in the world, I just don't see Pacquiao defeating him. I don't see either guy dominating one or the other. I think when they do fight, we'll actually be surprised on how boring the first part of the fight actually turns out. Because Pacquiao now is more of a thinking man's fighter. He used to be an instinct fighter, which means that he sees his openings and he jumps right on it. Now, ever since the Marquez knockout, he's more of a thinking man's fighter, meaning that while he'll still feint and get himself moving in like he normally would, he is more conscious than to leave himself as open, which you would think is an advantage, but in Mayweather's hands, giving him any sort of timing and space for him to watch your stance, he'll adjust his defense to force you to throw punches at him in a certain way. And everybody, no matter what angle they hit him from, he's able to force them to shoot inside his batter's box. So, like every other opponent who's had success with Floyd, if you're going to hurt him, you better hurt him early. And if you do hurt him, you better get him out of there. Because the more times he's standing on his feet, if he takes your best shot, like Mosley had learned, if he takes your best shot and you doesn't get rid of him, he forces you, he makes the adjustment to force your punches the way he wants them to go. No matter how trained you are, that's what happens, and he's a master at seeing that. Floyd Mayweather's best defense is actually his eyes. It's the ability for him to see so much. And while his reflexes aren't as fast, it's his mind that is his most dangerous. And for those who want to see him beaten, the fighter that gets in there and knocks that circuitry offline would have the best chance of doing that. Now, there's no doubt. Pacquiao is the most credible and best opponent for Floyd out there, especially now, because there's just no guy that's taken over the mantle or up on the mantle to deserve the Floyd fight right now. There just isn't. And even if Amir Khan wins, I still wouldn't think he's actually ready. I think that Kell Brook would actually deserve the shot, as he fought the guy who beat Devin Alexander and won. So I think he would actually be more deserving of a fight if you're going to go with either of the two Brits. And if they're going to do that, you should have Mortal Kombat, meaning that they should just fight each other for the right to fight Floyd, because that's who the UK will get behind. Because with Kell Brooks breaking into the scenario, there's a lot of guys that are behind him. Feels that he could actually beat Amir Khan and have a better chance at Floyd than Amir Khan will. Largely due to the part that Kell Brook has a better chin, better inside fighting, and a much better reach. While he doesn't have the speed, he makes up for that in timing. And it's hard to say because Kell Brook hasn't been televised much to know if he has that one-punch knockout power, but we definitely know that Amir Khan doesn't need a guy with one-punch knockout power to really put him down, as he was put down by Diaz in a fight, and that guy is just, he was at the end of his rope. But I would like thoughts on who would win. I would actually pick Mayweather by unanimous decision. I don't think he would go for the knockout. I think he would just do what he does best. Gets in there and just win. And a win is a win. He doesn't worry about how pretty it looks. He just makes sure that he gets the job done and makes sure he makes his opponent pay for the mistakes. And Pacquiao, while he has a lot of speed, I think there's more holes than there's too many holes in his game to exploit in terms of how he's able to be hit. Now, I think Pacquiao would land more punches than anybody in the end because he's just too straight, and they're straight and accurate punches and good punches. But I just don't think that he'll escape Floyd's net of when Floyd gets you in that net of timing, you just get stuck there and you never get out. And I think Pacquiao would unfortunately be stuck there. So, if you made it to the end of this video, 2 likes. Thank you. Please subscribe.